What's up, all my Ewoks, triples, and droids? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and today I'm going to be talking about a rumor that just dropped about how Brie Larson is allegedly going to be cast, or is being very much eyeballed for the casting of Mara Jade in the new Kevin Feige project of, it's this Star Wars movie that they announced a few months ago that Kevin Feige was going to be working on because they're bringing him in to clean up Kathleen Kennedy's mess. And you guys remember a few months ago when this happened, Kathleen Kennedy, she made this passive-aggressive little remark to Kevin Feige, or about Kevin Feige, as how, well, Star Wars doesn't have any source material because you didn't spend $4 billion, Kathleen Kennedy, acquiring comic books and novels and video games, all from the expanded universe, because you don't have any source material. You don't have anything that was there before. Oh, but she doesn't want to acknowledge that because guess what? It was made by by George Lucas. It was all approved by George Lucas. So she came from George Lucas, so therefore it is evil because he is a man. Because Kathleen Kennedy's a raging sexist. So that's a thing. But it's not fair for Kathleen Kennedy because she's a woman, and there's no source material. But Kevin Feige, oh my God, well, Kevin Feige has had a very successful run with Marvel because there was all this source material, and it's not fair because Kevin Feige had all this source material and Kathleen Kennedy didn't. Small as violin for you and your problems, Kathleen Kennedy. You did this to yourself. You had plenty of fucking source material there, but did you care about it? No, absolutely not. Did you even attempt to look at it? Probably not. You looked at that and said, oh, well, that it's just novels, it's just video games, it's just comic books. Nobody cares about that stuff, right? Well, now you failed. And now, so Kevin Feige is allegedly going to be doing a movie that is going to potentially have Mara Jade in it. Now, for those of you that are not aware, Mara Jade is Luke Skywalker's wife. Originally, she is working with Talon Card, who is one of my favorite characters in the expanded universe. And then she runs into Luke Skywalker. She does have this force sensitivity. And I don't really like to use that terminology because of the way that Disney has handled it. But the way that Mara she has, the kind of things that you see as, an untrained Jedi, they can sense things before they happen. Kind of how when Qui-Gon was asking Anakin's mother, he's like, can he sense things before they happen? Does he do this? Does he do that? Like, and the little things like that. So you get the sense in the novels that, Mara has that until she reveals who she was and, what her past was like because of her working with Palpatine. So she was not technically a Jedi. She wasn't technically a Sith either, even though she did bad things underneath, the mentorship of Palpatine, because of course he's freaking evil. So, her being the hand to the Emperor didn't, give her all the light side points, as you see when you're playing KOTOR. It's like this little graph, and you go up on the meter, you go down on the meter. She's probably a little bit more in the red, but she's a good person, so I think that's why she's so redeemable, and what makes her such a compelling character, and why her and Luke vibe so well off of each other, because he's the one that killed her master, and she has this vengeance within her because she needs to avenge her master that got killed, so she needs to kill Luke. And that's why that whole scene with the clones and it's so good. If you have a chance, go read the Thrawn trilogy and then go read the Thrawn duology. I personally like the Thrawn duology better, and that's just because, well, it's very well written. Timothy Zahn is an amazing author, but with the Thrawn duology, it's 10 years after the Thrawn trilogy, and they introduce a force power that I always thought would be cool to see, and I always, if I was a Jedi, that's what I would try to do. But they introduce how you can speak to different creatures in a fancy way of saying it. You can talk to animals with the force because the force is what binds the universe together, and it connects all living things. And Mara kind of gets a sense of it, but she's not as strong in the force as Luke is. So when she's doing this with Luke, or they're going on the adventure to find Thrawn's hand, not his literal hand, but like the hand of Thrawn, just how she was the hand to the Emperor. They're in this cave, and they're child of winds and all that, and Luke is able to communicate with him right off the bat because he's stronger in the force and he is more in tune to the force than Mara is, and they have that great character development moment and the whole arc, and then they realize that they love each other, and then they, ride into hyperspace together, and Luke asks her to marry him, and it's great, it's romantic, I love it, it got me in the feels. And the Thrawn trilogy is great as well. Again, if you want to really get into Mara Jade, that is a great place to start. Timothy Zahn is a fantastic writer, and I couldn't recommend those books more if you haven't dabbled into the expanded universe. But so let's get into this article. So this is kind of how Kevin Feige is eyeing Brie Larson to play Mara Jade. For those of you that do not know, I'm doing a video on this. It's going to come out possibly on Monday. So Rosario Dawson got cast as Ahsoka Tano for season 2 of The Mandalorian. I personally would have liked it if they maybe would have left the Jedi out of The Mandalorian, aside from Baby Yoda, because I love Baby Yoda, and him being the center point of it, I think would be great. But you know how Dave Filoni loves his Ahsoka. But ever since I saw the Clone Wars, Rosario Dawson is somebody that I think looks perfect for Ahsoka, and she is the correct age. Everyone is freaking out because they're saying that she's too old. Ahsoka would be in her 40s during the time period of The Mandalorian. So I think the casting is actually appropriate. I know a lot of people are upset because they wanted Brie Larson to be Ahsoka, or they wanted Ashley Eckstein, the girl who was the voice actress of Ahsoka, to play her. There's reasons why I don't think that would be a good idea, and I will cover that in my video covering the topic. But let's get into this. Star Wars fans were given a huge and unexpected surprise earlier this week when not only was it announced that the fan favorite character Ahsoka Tano was set to make her live action debut in the second season of The Mandalorian, but Rosario Dawson has also been cast in the role, something that will no doubt go down well with the vast majority fan base. I mean, this is something that I actually don't have a problem with. I think she's a fantastic actor. I've loved her ever since I saw her in Rent, and all those allegations that were against her, those were just allegations, so I don't know why people are making such a big deal about it. It's innocent until proven guilty, and even that it seemed to come out around the time when she was dating a person that was running for president, and it seemed like a very convenient time to throw this, well, her family did this kind of thing. But again, I'm going to cover that in the video. Those with an interest in Star Wars Expanded Universe had been clamoring for her to make the transition to either the movies or TV shows for a while now. I actually am fine with that. I'm fine with her being in a movie. I think that it would be great to do the movie about her audiobook, if you're her book, but I listened to the audiobook because it was Ashley Eckstein that read the Ahsoka audiobook that takes place after the whole Battle of Mandalore, after everything goes down with Execute Order 66. It's a great book. It's about how she gets her white lightsaber. So for those of you that are not aware, there's a thing with why your lightsaber is a certain color according to your Kyber crystal, and there's very rare do you ever get white lightsabers, and so Ahsoka is one of the few Jedi that actually is able to accomplish that, and it's the story of how that happens and how she survives Execute Order 66 and how what she was doing with her life for that little span of time and protecting Force sensitive children and on these planets. So I think that would have been, if you just want to do a standalone movie like that would have been perfect. I don't know why they don't do that. That would have made a lot of money since the book was very well received. So I don't know, but well, I'll probably never get that answer. That I think would have been the smartest decision, especially since Dave Filoni has a pretty big hard on for Ahsoka, and he wants her in everything and is always talking about her. So why don't you just give her own standalone movie? You can make all the merch, you fill it with aliens, action figures, Barbie dolls of Ahsoka, t-shirts, costumes, cosplayers. You could do all of that, make lots of money, but I don't know why they're not doing it, but that's just me. Let's see. Those with an interest in Star Wars Expanded Universe had been clamoring for her to make a transition into shows, with constant speculation linking the Jedi to the franchise in recent months. Well, they kind of linked the Jedi to it when they introduced the Darksaber. For those of you that did not watch Rebels and were very confused in the Mandalorian episode when he wields the Darksaber, so there's only been one Mandalorian Jedi, and they had the Darksaber. If you watched Rebels, you'll know exactly what that is. If you didn't, which I know a lot of people didn't, they had no idea how significant of a moment that was to see the Darksaber in, a live-action rendition of Star Wars. I was on the Jack show, and I had to explain to the guys what that was. So it's one of those things where you're going to bridge a TV show with, an animated TV show that maybe not a lot of adults have seen, you need to explain that. And, maybe just one sentence. This is the Darksaber, the only, lightsaber, the lightsaber type blade that a Mandalorian, the only Jedi Mandalorian wielded. And now I have it, and I'm here to fight you, a Mandalorian. That would have been, just one line, or, a few lines to do that. A good writer could have put it down better than I can, but I'm not a writer, so there is that. But they didn't, and I think they just expected people to know that, but, everyone has Google now, so probably everyone after the episode Googled it, but for everyone that did know, you're in the know. But it's just one of those things. So the Jedi have already been mentioned, or, especially even with Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda has Force abilities, which I think is so cute. But anyways, moving on. One of the most popular theories was that Ahsoka was set to play a prominent role in Kevin Feige's in-development Star Wars project, with his Marvel Cinematic Universe star Brie Larson heavily linked to the part. And while there's still a chance that the character should show up in the Feige Star Wars movie, we've also heard from our sources that the same ones told us months ago Ahsoka was set to make an appearance in The Mandalorian, that Larson is still in the mix, but for a different role now. Now, here's the thing. Brie Larson was like, oh, I love Star Wars. Oh, I'm friends with Samuel L. Jackson. Oh my God, I would love to be in Star Wars. The only way I would accept her in a Star Wars movie is if she was the type of character that got what she deserved. If you guys ever watched like Frankenstein and you saw Dr. Frankenstein and he had Igor, and if Brie Larson was the Igor type character, oh my, well, that was loud. If Brie Larson was an Igor type character, or if she was an aspiring Sith, but the Sith Lord just kind of used her to, be their little henchman and just, kind of, again, I'm not going to say the terms, but I gave her what she deserved. And if you guys ever saw the Black Cauldron, the Disney animated movie, and the Horn King, and then this little dude, if Brie Larson was this type of character in a Star Wars movie, I think that would be absolutely hilarious, especially the way that she acts, which is just basically her personality, being passive-aggressive, SJW feminist, in trying to insert her politics. That would be funny, just to see a Sith Lord that gives no shits and just kind of pushes her around with the Force. I think that would be hilarious. I think a lot of Star Wars fans and Marvel fans would enjoy watching that. So I think that's the only way to make Brie Larson an enjoyable character in Star Wars, and I think it would be hilarious. Have her be a villain, a wannabe villain type character that just epically fails and gets pushed around and, is not taken seriously by the Sith Lord. I think that would be hilarious. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me. Yes, after passing on the opportunity to play Tano, okay, so this is making it sound like she was offered the role and she said no. I highly doubt that. I do not think that she was offered the role. I think Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau knew who they wanted for the role, and at the end of the day, when it comes to Ahsoka, Dave Filoni, like I said earlier, got hard on for her. He's got to have his hands, he's got to be in control. He's got to be the puppet master for whatever is going on with Ahsoka. There's no way they offered the part, because that would mean that they would have to work with her, and I'm telling you right now, those two dudes would not get along with Brie Larson, so, and probably wouldn't put up with her shit either. So, yeah, this is making it sound like, yes, after passing on the opportunity to play Tano, the Captain Marvel star is said to be on Feige's wish list to lead the spinoff as Mara Jade, who had a very muddled history in the Star Wars Expanded Universe, but is still hugely popular with fans. Yeah, of course she's popular with fans. She's Luke Skywalker's freaking wife and a total badass, not Brie Larson. Disney and Lucasfilm are very high on the idea of bringing Larson into the franchise. Apparently, something the 30-year-old seems more than okay with. Well, no freaking duh. She wants the money. She wants the platform so she can continue to spew her nonsense and shove it down people's throats that, she's representation for women because there's never been anyone before that looks like her, according to her and her Nissan commercial, and you're only allowed to be what you can see. Are you freaking kidding me? So no one's capable of imagination. I already did this rant. I already did it. Of course she wants to be in Star Wars. Hello, she cosplays like this at Disneyland because she wants the attention. She's campaigning to be in Star Wars. She's like, oh, I'm best friends with Samuel L. Jackson. He gave me his lightsaber to hold on to for a few minutes that said, bad motherfucker on it, that's on his wallet from Pulp Fiction. Of course she wants to be in Star Wars. She wants the money. She wants the platform. She wants to be able to continue to spew her political nonsense that men are evil and that she's a woman and she's here to represent all women. But come on, the only way that look at that face, look at that. The only way that she would even remotely connect to the fans is if she was somebody that we could all laugh at and she could be, the butt of every joke, the little Igor type minion character that wants this thing and, nobody takes her seriously and she kind of just gets pushed around and she's that comedic relief type of villain that's, a wannabe villain, but that's pathetic. And I mean, you could attempt to make her three-dimensional and give her some kind of arc, but I don't think that she's actually capable of that. I don't personally think she's a good actress. I know a lot of people said that the only time they've seen her good was in Room, but come on, how hard is it to make yourself cry or to, work with a child and be caring with a child? I don't think it's that difficult to do. Every other thing that I've seen her in, she's the exact same. She's not playing a character, she's being Brie Larson, and it's not something that I think is enjoyable at all. And despite names like Emily Blunt, also said to be under consideration, Marvel's chief creative officer has made the Academy Award winner his number one choice from what we're told. Well, here's the thing. I said from the beginning that I would love to see Emily Blunt play Mara Jade. I think that she would be perfect for Mara Jade, and especially since they're talking about having Sebastian Stan be Luke Skywalker. He looks the way Mark Hamill did. I think he would make a great Luke Skywalker. He's a fantastic actor. But at the same time, I saw this meme going around on Twitter, and it wasn't something that I had thought of before, but I think it's actually a great idea to have, excuse me, I'm starting to get hiccups, have Karen Gillian, I don't know if I'm saying her last name correctly, I'm sorry, but, the girl that played Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think she would be a great choice if Emily Blunt is not available, because that's one thing with Emily Blunt. She's a great actress, and, she works very easily with other people and with directors. She's good at action. She's all around. She's just very good. And so it's very difficult for, certain people to book her because she's so busy because everyone wants, to work with Emily Blunt. And, she's got 2 young children. Her and her husband are working on movies together. She's a very busy person to, book down for your movies. While I don't know if, doing Star Wars would, benefit her family or, make her, kind of be a hardship on her. Obviously the money would be good, but I don't know what kind of burden that would put on her and her family. But if she's not available, heck, get Karen. Karen would be great. She's, a great action star from everything that I've seen her in. She's a great actress. She's very charismatic. She's, she loves the fans. She already knows what it's like to have a very dedicated fan base from being in Doctor Who. Now she's, a big star from Marvel and then from Jumanji. And, she's like Mara Jade, because Mara Jade, one of the things that's very, descriptive about her in the books is that she's got this, bright red hair and she's got these stunning green eyes. And I just think if putting Karen Gillian and then Sebastian Stan together as Luke Skywalker and Mara Jade, I would love to see them, and that chemistry between them together on screen. I think she would be great for it, and I feel like she'd be more readily available than Emily Blunt would, and it probably wouldn't be as taxing on her family life as it would be for Emily Blunt. So I would love to see Karen Gillian be Mara Jade in Star Wars, and I think that, right now, she's looking more and more like the best person for the job. Not this monstrosity. No, there's nothing about her that is Mara Jade, and the people that are doing this would know that if they read the books, which according to Kathleen Kennedy does not exist. Of course, nothing can be confirmed as yet. Good. With Feige's Star Wars movie still set to be a long way away, but we'll keep you posted as soon as we hear more about the studio's plans for Mara and who will end up playing her. Again, I don't know who this person is that wrote this article. I do not think that this is a reliable source, but there's no way in hell that this fucking woman deserves to be Mara freaking Jade. No way in hell. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know that it's kind of like, ugh, to talk about this woman over and over again, but the fact that she still keeps trying to, weasel her grimy little paws into these amazing franchises, or used to be amazing franchises until, you know, the crazies in Hollywood got their again, grimy paws all over them. It drives me freaking crazy. But let me know what you think about it in the comments. Let me know if you like my idea of her being this type of character, because I honestly think that's the only way that she would be enjoyable. If you haven't seen The Black Cauldron, it's a great movie, you should watch it, but it's a very underrated movie, but this is the type of character. Or if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, like Wormtongue, like if she was that type of character, I think that that's the only type of character that she could ever really be enjoyable in films, because that's just who she is, and she's one of those actresses that is the same in every movie that she's in. And I mean, you can argue Room, but even then I think that's pushing it a bit. But yeah, so let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you watched this far and you didn't like it, thank you for the views, but I'm sorry that you didn't enjoy it. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure that you subscribe. Hit you know, the little bell for notifications. Make sure that it's set to all. That way you get my notifications. You get, you know, the email saying that either I'm live or I've dropped another video, because YouTube is really cracking down and not giving people notifications, and it's very infuriating, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So make sure it's set to all. That way, if you want my notifications, that way you will get them. And everyone, again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, have a great rest of your day, and may the Force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone. What's up, everyone? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and I have an Etsy store, so if you've ever wanted to own a print of my artwork, this is the place to go. As you can see, I have a lot of recognizable characters, from horror films to heroes to Star Wars characters. Some of the notable characters I have on here are Darth Vader, which I did a couple live streams painting, so you can own a print of this painting. I also have Luke Skywalker, the Binary Sunset version, one of my favorite scenes in the original New Hope movie. I have Darth Maul, which Ray Parks himself actually complimented me on Instagram. And then last but certainly not least, Ahsoka Tano. So if you want to own any of these prints, go right on over to my Etsy store. Again, that's the Art of Anna, That Star Wars Girl, or TSWG for short. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your day. What's up, everyone? I have a P.O. box, so if you want to send me some mail, go ahead and send it to Anna, That Star Wars Girl, or TSWG for short, at P.O. Box number 28171, Santa Ana, California, 927998171. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.